You weren't born to crawl through life on autopilot, but somewhere along the line, the days began to blur, and your spark got buried beneath the weight of routine. You felt it, that restless voice inside you saying, "This isn't it. I'm not here to give you a pep talk. I'm here to light the fuse." Because when you finally snap the loop and move with ruthless clarity, life doesn't just improve, it shifts so violently it feels like you've broken some rule of reality. There's a reason it feels like you've been running on a treadmill with no off switch. You're aware that time is slipping through your fingers, and you crave a breakthrough so immediate, so earth-shaking, that it makes your old reality unrecognizable. I've witnessed transformations like that with my own eyes. I've experienced it myself. The moment you decide that something within you is done living a half version of your potential. Today, I'm calling you out of that half version and into something unstoppable. The world wants you to believe real change takes years, maybe decades. It feeds you this lie that you're supposed to move at the pace of everyone else, but you already sense that's not true. Deep inside, you know you can make a quantum leap. You can decide right now to accelerate so quickly that people around you will question if you've discovered some secret code to life. Newsflash, you have. The code is your own will, your unwavering decision. So let's begin by naming the enemy. Your life is caught in a loop of tired habits, unchallenged fears, and second-rate beliefs about what you can achieve. That loop keeps you in place, has you thinking the same thoughts, living the same day over and over, but you are not your loop. You are the one witnessing it. And once you see it for what it is, you can snap out of it with a single, defiant command to yourself: enough. Enough is a powerful word. It signals that you have reached your limit, that something within you will no longer tolerate the status quo. When you say you've had enough, your mind mobilizes to find a way out. But understand, simply saying the word isn't enough. You have to act like it. You have to burn the bridge behind you, so there's no going back to the old cycle of complacency. You have to let your old self die, so a new, unstoppable self can rise. Look at your day to day. Notice how you wake up, check your phone, shuffle through obligations, and collapse into bed with a head full of regret. That is your loop in action, devouring your hours, your energy, your ambition. It's not that you're lazy, it's that you've been lulled to sleep by routine. The cure? A jolt of urgency so strong it makes your heart pound. A shock to the system that tells you, I can't keep living like this. For many, that jolt happens after a crisis, a health scare, a betrayal, a financial meltdown. But you don't need a crisis to wake up. You can create your own emergency by recognizing that every second spent in a half-asleep state is a second you'll never get back. That realization, that raw, unfiltered truth, can spark a speed of change that defies logic. One day you're drifting, the next day you're on a new trajectory. That's how fast it can happen. Most people will call you crazy for wanting to shift your life so dramatically. They'll say change should be gradual, comfortable, carefully measured. Listen to me closely. Comfortable change is a myth. Real transformation is always messy, painful, and immediate. It's the kind that shakes you awake at 4 a.m. with your mind on fire, telling you to take action now, not tomorrow, not next week. That intensity is what breaks the loop. So how do you harness that intensity? You start by dismantling the illusions. Illusions that say you're not ready, you're not worthy, or you lack the resources to make a leap. Break that mirror of self-doubt. You have to see yourself as someone who moves in leaps, not small steps. And when you adopt that perspective, you'll see opportunities everywhere. They were always there, but your loop blindness kept you from seizing them. And let's get practical for a moment. If you want to change your life so fast it feels illegal, you must flip your schedule. Look at how you spend your 24 hours. Every block of time that isn't contributing to your transformation is dead weight. Cut it, replace it. Fill it with relentless movement toward your new vision. This might sound extreme, but that's because it is. Nobody changes at breakneck speed by being half committed. But what is that new vision exactly? It's the life that your truest self craves. Maybe it's a life of financial freedom, or unshakable confidence, or deep, unbreakable self-discipline. Whatever it is, define it in brutal clarity. Imagine yourself standing in that reality, living it, breathing it. Then ask, what decisions would that future version of me make today? That question kills your loop of stagnation because it forces you to act from a place of growth, not habit. Let's confront one of the biggest obstacles to rapid transformation, your circle. You might have friends, family, co-workers who are comfortable in the loop, who see no reason to push beyond the boundaries they've known their entire lives. When they see you rising, they might feel threatened, might try to pull you back. It's not always malicious. Sometimes it's fear disguised as concern, but you cannot let their fear become your cage. People cling to the familiar. They watch the same shows, eat the same foods, complain about the same problems year after year. If you truly want to break the loop, you must wage war on your comfort zones. Engage in new experiences that rattle your nerves, that force you to adapt on the fly. This is how you rewire your brain for speed. The more you thrive in uncertainty, the less you'll revert to old patterns. Here's a challenge. Do one thing every day for the next week that scares you. Something that raises your pulse, makes you feel alive with fear. Could be speaking up in a meeting, could be sending that risky email, could be jogging at 5 a.m. in the cold. Why fear? Because fear is the threshold of transformation. Every time you confront it, you're telling your old self, I'm done living small. I'm done pretending. I'm bigger than this. I've heard it said, don't let your dreams scare you. Let them terrify you. That terror is a sign you're aiming high enough to break the loop. If your dreams don't intimidate you, you're still playing it safe, still living at half speed. So let those dreams scare the daylights out of you, and then march straight toward them. That's how you ignite the fires of rapid change, by tackling the goals that would crush your old self. Think of your mind as a fortress. Old habits and beliefs are the siege engines pounding at the gates, trying to drag you back into the loop, but you're the commander. You decide what gets inside the fortress. You decide which thoughts take root and grow. Overhaul your mental diet. Stop feeding your mind with negativity, gossip, and shallow distractions. Instead, saturate it with books, mentors, challenges that force your mindset to expand beyond its old boundaries. Listen closely. The moment you notice progress, your old patterns will try to sabotage you. It's like an internal alarm that rings the second you start stepping out of the loop. Insecurity, procrastination, and excuses will swarm you, begging you to slow down, to wait for a better time. Here's your weapon: discipline. You keep pushing, even when your mind is screaming, stop. This is too much. That's when you know you're on the brink of shattering the loop entirely. Have you ever tried to accelerate so fast that it feels like the ground disappears beneath your feet? That's the sensation you're chasing now. You'll have days where it feels like too much, like you're sprinting into a hurricane. Good. That means you're alive. That means you're adapting to a new velocity that leaves no room for your old, dragging self. Most people never taste that thrill. They're content to jog in place. You are not most people. Let's talk about your environment. I'm not just referring to the people in your life, but the physical spaces you occupy. Is your living space full of clutter that reminds you of old habits? Is your workspace uninspiring, crammed with distractions? Over the next days, clear it out. Make your space reflect the person you're becoming, not the person you've been. This physical shift sends a powerful message to your subconscious. We're not looping anymore, we're leaping. One of the quickest ways to fuel illegal level change is to set impossible deadlines for yourself. Yes, impossible, because when you give yourself too much time, you allow the loop to creep back in. But when you say, I'm doing this in 3 days, your mind scrambles for solutions. It taps into resources you never use when you're playing it safe. You'd be shocked what you can accomplish under intense time pressure, all because you refuse to let your old excuses slow you down. Understand that rapid change will expose all your weaknesses. Emotional fragility, lack of focus, fear of criticism, it's all going to rise to the surface. Don't see this as a setback. See it as the best diagnostic tool you've ever had. You can't fix what you don't see. Now that these weaknesses are in the spotlight, you can attack them head-on with relentless courage. Most people won't recognize you in a few weeks if you commit to this. They'll say you've changed, that you're not the same person. Take that as a compliment. Becoming unrecognizable is part of the game. You're shedding layers of old identity that no longer serve you. This is how you break the loop so fast it feels criminal. The old you is a relic, and the new you is unstoppable. It's normal to grieve your old self a little. Change, even positive change, involves letting go. You might feel nostalgic for the comforts of your former routine, but you must keep your eyes on what you stand to gain. A life that matches the intensity of your ambition, a reality that feels so liberated, it's as if you hacked the system. That's worth any temporary discomfort. Momentum is everything. Once you start taking bold action, do not pause. Don't spend time admiring how far you've come. Keep going, because momentum is a fragile thing. The second you slow down and slip into autopilot, the loop tries to snatch you back. Let your movement be continuous, almost frantic at times. It won't always be pretty, but it'll keep you ahead of the old gravitational pull. If there's one tool you should master right now, it's the art of saying no. Not just to people, but to tasks, to habits, to any temptation that threatens your momentum. When you commit to an explosive level of self-change, every minute and every ounce of energy matters. So guard them with ruthless boundaries. Every yes to something trivial is a no to your transformation. Let me address a big misconception. People think they need to be 100% confident before they act. That's a lie. Confidence often lags behind action. You leap first, and your belief in yourself builds as you see results. So if you're waiting for unshakable certainty, stop. You'll be waiting forever. Jump now. Clarity and confidence will catch up with you on the journey. Your success in this rapid evolution hinges on your ability to endure discomfort. We're not just talking physical discomfort, although that might come with intense effort. We're talking emotional, mental, even social discomfort. You might lose relationships. You might have to face deep-seated fears. You might discover that much of what you thought you knew about yourself was inaccurate. That can hurt, but it's the price of freedom from the loop. Another essential element, you must cultivate a hunger for immediate feedback. Don't shy away from criticism. Seek it. Ask others where you need improvement. When you run from feedback, you remain blind to your weak points. When you chase feedback, you accelerate learning so fast it defies conventional expectations. This alone can speed up your progress at a rate that feels surreal. The loop thrives on illusions of time. It says, relax, there's always tomorrow. But tomorrow is not promised. If you truly grasp the fragility of life, you'd realize that you don't have the luxury of slow change. You'd see that every moment of stagnation is a form of theft. Theft of your potential, your dreams, your future. Once you realize that, your sense of urgency skyrockets. In this journey, you'll hit moments that feel like a punch to the gut, failures that rattle your confidence, late nights that leave you exhausted, uncertainty so thick you can taste it. But guess what? That's how you know you're growing at supersonic speed. Nobody cruising through life on easy mode has nights like that. You do because you're forging a future that would terrify the person you were yesterday. People around you might label you obsessed. Wear that label as a badge of honor. Obsession is the fuel of rapid change. It's what drives you to keep going long after others have checked out. An obsessed person is unstoppable because they're not dabbling. They're fully immersed, and full immersion is precisely what breaks the loop. It doesn't have time to react or fight back when you're all in. One danger you must avoid is the trap of endless planning. Too many people love to plan, to strategize, to map out every step. Planning can be a form of procrastination dressed as productivity. The moment you have enough clarity to move, move. Action creates clarity faster than any plan. You can always adjust course mid-flight, but if you never take off, you remain stuck on the runway, looping the same routine in your mind. Rapid transformation demands you become ruthlessly self-aware. Monitor your thoughts, your emotions, your body's reactions. Every time you slip into negativity or doubt, catch it quickly. Ask, is this serving my new life or dragging me into the old loop? Then course correct. This isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. The more consistently you correct your mental slips, the faster your life will change. Spend time visualizing the speed of your breakthrough. Not just the end goal, but the velocity at which you're moving. See yourself as a rocket shaking off the gravitational pull of old habits. Some might say visualization is childish, but it works. The mind thrives on images. Give it a compelling image of unstoppable momentum, and it will strive to make that image reality. You might wonder if you'll lose yourself in this rapid metamorphosis. The truth, you'll lose parts of yourself that you no longer need. You'll shed outdated beliefs, break toxic ties, discard limiting identities. That might feel like losing yourself, but really, you're finding your true self, the self that isn't defined by fear or comfort, but by vision and action. Embrace that process with open arms. Don't ignore your physical body in this transformation. Rapid life change demands physical energy, so treat your body like a high-performance machine. Fuel it with good nutrition, condition it with exercise, allow it moments of recovery. A neglected body will slow you down. But when your physical state is primed, your mind follows suit. You become a living embodiment of unstoppable forward motion. Failure to set boundaries around your mental environment is a surefire way to sabotage your progress. Remember, in times of massive change, your environment must be curated carefully. That means less time with people who sap your energy, less exposure to mind-numbing entertainment, less indulgence in self-pity. You're on a mission. Missions require focus and an unbreakable sense of purpose. Let me make this personal. I've seen the difference when I've chosen to live with unrelenting urgency versus coasting in a loop. When I coast, days blur together, opportunities slip away, and I become a spectator in my own life. When I live with urgency, each morning feels electric, each decision purposeful, each action a strike against the slow decay that most people accept. That's the life I want for you. Watch out for the cynics. They'll say your rapid changes are a phase, that you'll burn out or revert to your old ways. But cynics live in a loop themselves, a loop of skepticism and low expectations. Let their doubt fuel you. Prove them wrong by staying consistent, by forging ahead until your new reality becomes undeniable. The day will come when they ask you how you did it, and you'll remember the time they said you couldn't. Rapid change is not about perfection. It's about exponential progress. You might still have off days. That's okay. The key is to bounce back swiftly, to treat every setback as a trampoline that launches you further than before. Most people let a single setback unravel them, sending them spiraling back into old habits. You won't, because you've decided that your transformation is non-negotiable. Ask yourself, what if I genuinely believed that I could alter the course of my life in a matter of weeks? Not pretend believed, but truly believed deep in your core. That belief alone can generate a level of action that seems superhuman, because the mind and body align when your belief is unwavering. They stop making excuses and start finding solutions at lightning speed. Consistency doesn't mean doing the same thing day after day. Consistency means you never waver from your commitment to evolve. You may change tactics, adapt strategies, or shift your schedule, but the end goal remains the same. Break the loop so thoroughly that there's no trace of the old you left. Consistency is the fuel that keeps your acceleration from stalling. Let's address the concept of overnight success. People see someone shoot to the top and assume it happened in one spectacular leap. They don't see the nights of grinding, the mental battles, the repeated leaps of faith. Overnight success is usually preceded by 1,000 micro-actions done with insane determination. Now it's your turn to take those micro-actions compressed into a short span, so the world thinks you rose from nowhere. Look in the mirror and say to yourself, I'm the only thing standing in my way. That's not to shame you, but to empower you. Because if you're the main barrier, then you're also the solution. You hold the power to step aside and let your destiny charge forward. You hold the power to get out of your own head, to relinquish the loop, and to sprint into a life that feels almost too good to be true. Practice telling your story in the present tense. Instead of I will be successful, say I am successful. Instead of I want to be disciplined, say I am disciplined. This small shift in language rewires your identity, and identity drives behavior. When you view yourself as already transformed, you're less likely to act out of old patterns. You begin to embody the change before the external world even catches on. Don't just set goals, set deadlines even if they scare you. Goals without deadlines are wishes. Goals with deadlines become inevitabilities, especially when you're operating at breakneck speed. Let each deadline light a fire under you. Each time you meet one, set another. This keeps you in a state of perpetual motion, making it impossible for the old loop to take hold. The first cracks in the loop often appear when you realize you're capable of more than you ever imagined. Maybe you discover you can handle more work, or learn new skills faster, or push your body harder. That realization is addictive. It feeds your desire for rapid change because you begin to wonder, if I can do this, what else is within my reach? Let that curiosity fuel your wildest aspirations. This might be the hardest truth. You have to be willing to be misunderstood, even ridiculed. People in loops don't understand those who escape them. They'll call you reckless, naive, or arrogant, but guess what? Their opinions do not change your reality. They don't live your life. They won't face your regrets decades from now. So do not sacrifice your potential for their comfort. Time to talk about impatience. Sometimes you'll feel an ache for instant results. It's good to be impatient for progress, but you must channel that impatience into productive action, not frustration. Impatience can be a potent fuel if you use it wisely. Let it push you to move faster, to learn quicker, to iterate without delay. Just don't let it turn into despair when something doesn't work right away. Your transformations might begin internally, new beliefs, sharper focus, emotional resilience, but soon enough they'll manifest externally. Improved relationships, better career opportunities, a heightened sense of purpose. That's when you realize how powerful internal shifts can be. They create a ripple effect that touches every corner of your life. It feels like magic, but it's really just the synergy of an upgraded mindset and consistent action. Don't try to convert everyone to your path. Rapid, high-intensity change is not for everyone. Some people prefer a slower rhythm, and that's okay. But you're not here to manage their comfort levels. You're here to break your loop, to unleash your potential, to live in a way that might seem impossible to those who've never dared to break theirs. Let them watch. Maybe one day they'll follow. The reason so many remain stuck is they refuse to pay the price of freedom. That price? Sacrifice. You can't stay up binge-watching shows, can't spend hours scrolling mindlessly, can't indulge every craving. You're trading fleeting pleasures for lifelong fulfillment. That's not a loss. It's an investment in the life you truly want. And that life arrives faster than you think when you stop watering the seeds of your old habits. Accept that you will make mistakes. In fact, if you aren't making mistakes, you're moving too slowly. Mistakes are the footprints of aggressive action. They indicate you're testing boundaries, experimenting, living on the edge of your comfort zone. Celebrate them for what they are. Proof you're refusing to remain stagnant. Most people fear mistakes because they fear judgment. You welcome mistakes because you fear complacency more than anything else. Pay close attention to your emotions. They can be your greatest allies or your worst enemies. When you're excited and motivated, harness that energy to plow through tasks. When you're anxious or doubtful, realize those feelings are signals to recalibrate, not reasons to quit. If you can master the art of pivoting your emotions into constructive action, your momentum will become unstoppable. Let's talk about routine. Many motivational speeches talk about the power of routine. But here's the twist. Your routine must be designed to shatter the loop, not reinforce it. That means building routines that challenge you daily, that push you into new territories of thought and action. A routine that makes you comfortable is not your friend right now. You need one that tests your limits and expands them. You might look at the path ahead and feel overwhelmed. Good. Overwhelm means you're dreaming at a scale that scares your old self. Break it down into chunks. Attack each chunk with a fury that leaves no space for doubt. The best way to handle overwhelm is to move forward relentlessly. Motion creates clarity, and clarity destroys overwhelm. Sitting still only feeds it. Remember, you're not just changing your actions, you're changing your identity. And identity change happens through repeated decisions that align with the person you're becoming. Every time you choose a bold action over a safe one, that's an identity statement. I am the kind of person who doesn't shrink from opportunity. Stack enough of these statements, and the old you won't even recognize the new you. Reflection is crucial. Not the casual reflection that leads to overthinking, but deliberate reflection that extracts lessons from every win or setback. End your day by asking, what did I do right? Where can I improve tomorrow? Keep it simple, then move on. This daily examination accelerates your growth because you're constantly adapting. It's like daily software updates for your mind. Let's do a reality check. Your journey might be lonely. Not everyone around you wants to sprint, but solitude can be your ally. It's in solitude that you face yourself, that you confront the raw truth of your capabilities and your fears. Embrace it. Let loneliness be the furnace in which your new self is forged. Besides, you'll soon attract people who resonate with your new frequency, people who also hunger for a life beyond limits. If you find yourself slipping, re-anchor in your future. Close your eyes and envision the consequences of staying the same for another year, another 5 years. Feel that regret, that stale familiarity. Let it disgust you. Then shift to imagining the opposite. You, living a life so vibrant and full that it makes today's version of you proud. Let that vision pull you forward like a magnet. That's the power of purposeful imagination. Don't forget to celebrate your milestones, not with complacency, but with acknowledgement that you're defying the odds, that you're accelerating past barriers that once seemed immovable. A small celebration can recharge your spirit, reminding you why you started in the first place. But once the celebration is over, refocus. Rapid change doesn't linger in celebration mode for long. Be wary of external validation. People might applaud your success, shower you with compliments, and that feels good. But external praise can be a trap if you let it replace your internal drive. Let your drive come from a vision so fierce that applause is just background noise. When nobody's cheering, you should still be pushing, still blazing forward at a pace that shocks the loop you left behind. Let's address the need for speed. Some people fear moving quickly because they worry about missing out on life's simple joys. Here's the truth. When you break the loop, every experience is heightened. You feel more alive, more present. Because you're no longer numbed by routine, you appreciate the small moments even more. Speed isn't about rushing blindly. It's about operating at a level of consciousness that everyday life rarely demands. Fear of judgment can be a massive anchor. You might wonder what friends, colleagues, or even strangers think of your drastic changes. Let them think what they want. Their opinions do not fund your dreams, nor do they heal the regrets you'd feel if you never tried. Keep your eyes fixed on the horizon of your transformation. A million disapproving glances mean nothing in the face of your commitment to live unleashed. Rapid change has a way of unlocking latent talents and desires you didn't know you had. Maybe you discover a passion for public speaking, or an aptitude for business, or an artistic gift that emerges under pressure. Don't be surprised if a month from now you're pursuing something you never considered before. That's the beauty of stepping outside the loop. New sides of you come alive and demand exploration. Build resilience into your plan. You will get tired. You might even doubt whether the hustle is worth it. In those moments, recall why you started. Was it to escape mediocrity, to break a generational cycle, to prove to yourself you have what it takes? Keep that reason close, like a torch in the darkness. Because that reason, that burning why, can illuminate your path when all else fades. When your mind drags you into the past, resisting your new path, remind yourself that the past is a dead weight. You can learn from it, but you cannot live in it. Every day you cling to old experiences or old traumas is another day you delay your future. Cut the cords. Let the past be a chapter that ended so you can sprint into the next one without chains dragging behind you. Your willpower is a muscle. It gets stronger with use, but it also fatigues if overworked without rest. Be strategic about your day. If your willpower is highest in the morning, tackle the hardest tasks then. Protect your willpower from frivolous decisions. Automate what you can, simplify your choices, and channel your mental energy into the big moves that catapult you into a life that feels almost too good to be true. People will ask how you did it. They'll want a neat formula, a step-by-step guide they can copy without risking discomfort. But the truth is, you did it by living in discomfort, by courting challenges, and by refusing to settle. If they want what you have, they'll need to do the same. That's the unspoken truth about massive, rapid life changes. They're available to anyone willing to pay the price. Stay vigilant about the loop reappearing. It can disguise itself as rest, a break, a reward for your hard work. Suddenly, you're slipping back into old patterns of laziness or self-sabotage. Don't let that happen. Plan your rest intentionally. Make it revitalizing, not a descent into mindless routines. The loop thrives when you let your guard down. Let your rest be a weapon for recovery, not a gateway to regression. As you accelerate, you'll notice synchronicities, random chances that line up, people who appear at the perfect time, opportunities that seem tailor-made for you. Some call it luck. I call it alignment. When you're fiercely aligned with a vision, the universe tends to bend in your favor. But don't rely on luck. Keep doing the work. Luck is just a bonus, not the foundation. Realize that every word you speak shapes your reality. When you say, "I can't," you reinforce the loop. When you say, "I will find a way," you demolish limitations. Pay attention to how you describe yourself and your journey. Use the language of possibility, of conviction, of unstoppable drive. Words create worlds. Build yours with ones that reflect your highest aspirations. Don't be surprised if you outgrow people you once held dear. Rapid transformation can leave others behind, not because you abandon them, but because they choose not to keep pace. Offer a hand if they want to rise with you, but never diminish your journey to make them comfortable. You can't rescue everyone from their own loop. Some loops can only be broken from the inside. Imagine you're a sculptor, chipping away at a massive block of marble. Every strike of the chisel reveals more of the masterpiece within. That's what you're doing with your life. Each bold action, each risk, each boundary pushed chips away the excess. People see the final sculpture and say, "Wow, you changed so fast." They don't realize you've been striking away day after day, sometimes in agony, but always with purpose. Your biggest breakthroughs might come in moments of near defeat. When you're at your lowest, you have two choices: collapse or surge forward. Those who collapse revert to the loop, telling themselves it's just not meant to be. Those who surge forward become legends in their own lives, rewriting their destiny in real time. Choose to surge every time. Keep track of your results, not to feed your ego, but to measure your progress. If you said you'd do something in 3 days, record whether you did. If you set a personal best, note it down. Numbers don't lie. They cut through self-deception. This data-driven approach merges perfectly with your relentless hunger, creating a feedback loop of excellence, not mediocrity. Some days, the only thing that carries you is the memory of your promise to yourself. You might wake up without motivation, your mind clawing for excuses. That's when discipline reigns supreme. Discipline is the answer when motivation is absent. Discipline says, "I act regardless of how I feel." That is the hallmark of someone who changes their life so fast it defies explanation. Don't wait for validation to confirm your new identity. You have to own it before anyone else sees it. Walk into rooms like the unstoppable force you're becoming. Speak with the conviction of someone who's seen the future they're creating. People may initially doubt you, but eventually, the consistency of your actions will silence their doubts, and you'll stand tall, knowing you believed in yourself when it mattered most. Here's a key strategy. Periodically review what used to hold you back. Make a list of old fears, limiting beliefs, or addictive patterns. Cross them out one by one as you conquer them. This visual representation of your progress is powerful. It reminds you that you are indeed breaking chains, not just talking about it. And with each chain broken, your speed increases, your potential broadens. At times, you'll crave normalcy. You'll miss the days of low expectations, of not pushing yourself to the brink. Don't romanticize the loop. It was a prison, not a paradise. Recall how you felt trapped, how your dreams lay dormant. That's not life. That's slow decay. Embrace the churn of rapid growth because it's the price you pay for finally tasting the air of real freedom. Restlessness can be a superpower if you direct it toward change instead of letting it simmer into frustration. When you feel that itch to do something big, to break another barrier, follow it. That restlessness is your soul signaling that you're ready for the next leap. Sometimes you won't feel fully prepared. Leap anyway. Preparedness often arrives in midair, in the heat of action. If you want change that feels illegal, you must be willing to do what others call extreme. Waking up when the world sleeps, working on your side hustle during lunch breaks, investing in yourself when you have little to spare. Extremes scare average people, but you don't want an average life. So adopt extreme methods if that's what it takes. The loop doesn't stand a chance against someone who's willing to go all out. One day, you'll look back at this period as the time you tore open the fabric of your old reality. The details may blur, the late nights, the sweat-drenched mornings, the tears of frustration, but you'll never forget the thrill of becoming someone new. Cherish that, because once you prove to yourself you can reinvent your life at an absurd speed, you'll never again doubt your capacity to do it. Don't abandon compassion for yourself. Rapid change can be brutal. There's a delicate balance between pushing hard and giving yourself grace. When you stumble, speak to yourself kindly. Remind yourself why you began this journey, but do not confuse kindness with leniency. Be patient but persistent, forgiving but fierce. That equilibrium is the key to sustained acceleration without burnout. As you break the loop, new loops might try to form. Achievement loops, ego loops, complacency loops. Success can be a new cage if you let it make you comfortable. Always ask, am I still growing, or have I plateaued at this new level? Stay hungry, stay curious, keep pushing the boundaries. A life that changes so fast it feels illegal isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing dance with possibility. If doubts creep in, remember that every great story involves a hero who reaches a point of near surrender before rising stronger. You're the hero of your story. The pen is in your hand. The loop is the villain, and you have all you need to defeat it. No matter how convincing the villain may seem, the hero's triumph comes from within, from an unwavering decision to rise no matter the cost. It's okay if you don't have all the answers. Clarity often blooms in the midst of action. The universe has a funny way of revealing the next step once you've taken the first. So don't wait for some grand epiphany. Move, act, reach, ask questions later. This approach might feel reckless, but in a world where most people are paralyzed by analysis, it's exactly what sets you apart. Be prepared for the day you realize you're living a life that once seemed impossible. You'll catch yourself smiling for no reason or tackling challenges that used to make your heart race. In that moment, you'll know you've cracked the code. And the best part? You're just getting started. Because once you learn to bend reality this way, you'll never settle for less. You'll keep finding new loops to break, new heights to conquer. Everything in your life has led you to this moment of decision. Will you continue the loop, safe and predictable, or will you break it so violently that the old path can't contain you anymore? This is your life, your choice. Nobody can force you to shatter the loop, and nobody can stop you once you decide to do it. The speed of your transformation is in your hands. Own it. Now take a breath. Feel the electricity in your veins, the surge of confidence that tells you there's no going back. You've heard the call, and the time to act is now. This isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new chapter so explosive it defies logic. So step forward, break the loop, rewire your destiny so quickly the world can't keep up. And if you're ready to keep that momentum burning, subscribe now, because this energy doesn't stop here. You are done waiting. You are done pacing in circles. You are ready to unleash a momentum that transforms your life beyond all recognition, starting right this second.